Hey guys, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. How is everybody today? It is a great day, but on the same token, I ain't putting up with any fucking BS from anybody. And I had somebody write me today and they were like, I never expected you to get an attitude with me. It's like, I never expect you to actually think I cared about shit. Because at the end of the day, sometimes when people tell me things, I don't care. I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't give a shit. I don't have the time or the energy to care about things that don't matter. How is everybody doing tonight? Yes, it is Trump Day. Hung Hero, thank you for the $2 super chat. Always kicking off the streams with a good notion. Because I got yeeted from YouTube not once, but twice today. And all I was doing was trying to stream the inauguration. They didn't expect you to get an attitude. No, I mean, it's not that I got an attitude. I just didn't care. My responses were whatever, okay, and thumbs up. I wasn't getting an attitude. I just don't care. It was a Facebook thing, and I have no time to give a shit about Facebook because I hate Facebook. Like, the only reason I'm on Facebook is because that's how I communicate easily with people that I served with. That's how I keep in touch with them. Other than that, Facebook can suck a, I was on when you were muted. I have my favorites. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, I had the stream open, but I wasn't doing anything. I was watching Trump sign executive orders, and a couple of the executive orders that he signed that I was able to write down, and I might have gotten some of these wrong in my wording, but he signed one about the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty, and then another one was a letter to the UN about the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty, which I am going to look into further what all was involved in that, but that will save us about $1 trillion. There was also a regulatory freeze. They are not allowed to they are not allowed to sign any more regulations or make any more regulations. There's also a federal workers return to full-time in-person work, which I'm personally a fan of, because some people can work remote and that's all right. But like, if you work for the government and you're supposed to be a forward-facing thing, you work for the government, your butt should be in an office. But that's just my personal opinion. Little channel updates before we get started. Saturday mornings, I started doing a quick, 1 hour, 1.5 hour stream, but quick updates on all the small cases that I don't really feel like making individual videos about. They can't hold a live stream on their own. It's little bits and pieces of information here and there. Started doing a live stream on Saturday mornings, because Saturday mornings, not a whole lot of people stream. So I find it like the perfect time to not only have my cup of coffee and relax during a stream, but also get all that information out to you that of tiny cases or cases that not a lot of people are covering that I can just one by one knock off. Secondly, I am looking more into the Piketon massacres. I think I am going to break down the roles of the of all of the victims first. Then I will break down all of the perpetrators while trying to find all the court docs. Try to break it down because it's a huge thing. Thirdly, Thursday at 1:30 p.m., Captain Kurt and I are going to go live together and do a stream on my channel. Sir Frank Otter has found and sent me all of the documents, or at least most of the documents. I'm still going through them in Captain Kern's daughter's case. So that is a sensitive case for him, but I wanted to help find the documents, and Sir Frank Otter found the documents in Nebraska for me because Nebraska's website is not easy to navigate. So he was able to find all of those. So we are going to go through them and kind of dissect from the very beginning. You heard his side of it as a father. Now we're going to hear this side of it as what happened in the law and why we think what should have happened didn't. And also how we can keep that from happening to other people. Thank you, Duncan, Idaho, for the 5 gifted Squid Protocol memberships. And those went to, and of course I don't have my studio open. Why not? Why would I do that? Because that's called being prepared. Even though I've been sitting here for 20 minutes. Like, yeah. They went to, I have my favorites. Siha, HDS Chick, JD, and Michael. So that stream will be, and I will make the thumbnail for that stream probably tomorrow and get it out there and share it on all of my social media, because I think that is a very important stream. And I will not be titling or giving the name of the person. He is, in my eyes, just the bastard. And I told Captain Kern that I am not calling him by his name. I am calling him the bastard, because that's all. Hey, Tammy, thanks for the $2 super chat. I love your sporty look. It's my, once you go dark, you never go back. So, and I'm not in the forward hat kind of personality and attitude right now. I'm in the backwards hat, don't give a shit kind of mentality. Yeah, I talked to my dad. The little is right here. Hey, you want to say hi? Nope, she busy. So, yeah, Tammy, I think we talked about you having this hat. I got this hat. I finally got one when I went to Charleston a couple weeks ago. All right. Nungam Hero, $16, 16 for the 6 prisoners. Yeah, and I'm hoping that there will be people, there will be justice for those people, but also hostages all over the world, mainly in the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Let's just hope things kind of settle down in the world, shall you say? Because things have been nuts the last 4 years. And anybody that ever says like the last 4 years have been great, what planet have you been on? The house that we're trying to buy, or that we wanted to buy that we can't, in 2020 was $179,000. That house today is $339,000. Yeah, well, you didn't aim a shotgun at somebody and pull the trigger, so there's that. I miss my cheap gas. And since when we move, we'll have to get rid of the chickens. I already miss my eggs. So let's get into this. So this is the if we would have bought a house in 2020 when I first moved down here, our interest rate would have been like 3.5%. It's up there. It's up there. It's not quite 9%, but it's higher than any interest rate I've ever paid outside of a credit card. So this stream tonight is about, since I didn't stream last night because the little one decided that bedtime is a myth. She's been watching too much Slug, where everything is not real. So in her mindset, bedtime and nap time are not real. So she didn't go to sleep till like 10 o'clock. And I was not about to have her sitting here screaming when I was on, not yet. There's a good chance, but it's one of those things. If you've known me for more than 5 minutes, everything is written in pencil, and I will believe it when it happens. So we are discussing Sean Stines. Mickey Stines, Sean, nickname is Mickey Stines, was the sheriff in Kentucky that unalived the judge in the judge's chambers on camera. If you've been knowing this, anybody who's looked into this case knows it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. Just when you think you've got something figured out, you fall down another rabbit hole. Well, part of the issue that is surrounding this case is a lawsuit from 2022 where the judge was named as a defendant. We are going to get into that lawsuit, and I promise I will try to get through this fast. I have us being redirected to Tug at 8 o'clock. I'm going to go till about 8:10 because we all know Tug and being on time is a myth. If we're going to use those phrases. So, yes, ma'am. Hi. You want to read a lawsuit? My lawyer baby. Okay, bye. Maybe not. So, and I did pick up this book recently. This is Megan's book. I am going to be reading this, and I highly suggest that y'all do the same. Girl, you've had like 4 of these today. It's supposed to be bedtime. These are her chocolate bars, where they're really those clean protein bars, because, and sometimes if I can, oh, the audacity of some people. I swear, some people get their freaking audacity on the clearance rack, and it ain't welcome here. Just saying. So, yeah, we're just going to go with that. If you know who I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. Anyway, let's get into this. Thanks. My shirt is a Brewers postseason shirt from 2018. I don't know. It's been washed like 800 times, so it's 2018. But I'm feeling very I'm feeling very fight worthy today, so I figured a sports shirt and a backwards hat was kind of my look. Plus, my hair is all sorts of crazy today. I have hat hair. All right, let's get into this. Johnny, sorry to know you're streaming. Yeah, and I'm actually on YouTube, so I need your help. I downloaded and I have Rumble Studio. I can't figure out how to put Rumble Studio and StreamYard together. If you can help me with that sometime, some of us are Karens and we're grateful. Well, this is free America. Yeah, and I'm not the type where when I have political clothing or buttons or t-shirts or all that, I'm not the type to actually wear that, because I'm just like that's a me thing. So I am so I went to cancel my StreamYard today because StreamYard is $45 a month and I don't make enough money to support $45 a month. But with everything else that I got to do. So I went to cancel and they gave me a half price offer. So at least for the time being, until I'm learning something else, my StreamYard will be $26 instead of $45. So there's a plus. All right, let's get into this. Yeah, and I don't really wear hats and if any of you are vets, and female vets particularly, you were forced to wear hats when you didn't want to. And some of us are not really the cover kind of people. So I don't wear them very often. But I find myself only wearing them when I have an attitude. I don't know. It reminds me of 8th grade when I thought I was like in trouble, or like I was a troublemaker and shit. So, yeah. Anyway, with the new house and the new kitchen, I might be able to set up I have enough counter space to set up a possible cooking stream. So we might do some of that fun stuff just for like members only stuff. Trying to, introduce some members only content. So we might do cooking streams. Who knows? All right. So this was filed in 2022, actually at the end of January 2022. So almost 3 years ago. But this is the first thing that I can find with all of the drama that went on down the rabbit hole. So honestly, I don't know where I found this. I couldn't tell you. But it's a pretty interesting read, and it might shed some light on why there was a problem between the judge and this sheriff. So Sabrina Atkins, plaintiff, v. Ben Fields, individually and in his capacity as a deputy sheriff with the Letcher County Sheriff's Department, unknown supervisors of Ben Fields and Mickey Stines, Letcher County Sheriff. And I was on Brad's cooking show. The time he invited me by myself, I had already scheduled this stream, my Sunday night stream, like 5 minutes before that, and I was like, crap. Yes, Squid and Brad. I like working with Brad. Brad is fun. All right. And here, Jeannie, thank you for the $9.99 super sticker. You are awesome. I will text you a video of the little that I took yesterday. I think you'd get a kick out of that. And the next time back in Wisconsin, we'll have to grab dinner. So, all right. And before Hung Hero makes a stink of this, I am going to get through this pretty quickly. Comes the plaintiff, Sabrina Atkins, plaintiff or Sabrina, by and through counsel, and for her complaint against defendant states as follows. This is a civil action for damages for violation of the constitutional rights of the plaintiffs by the defendants acting under color of state law. In addition, the plaintiff alleges that defendant Ben Fields is liable under state law. Plaintiff asserts that defendant Fields, in his individual and official capacities, violated plaintiff's rights and secured by the 4th and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution, as well as Sections 1, 2, and 10 of the Kentucky Constitution, by subjecting plaintiff to arbitrary action, unreasonable search and seizure, and deprivation of liberty. The plaintiff also alleges that defendant Fields is liable under state law for damages for false imprisonment, assault and battery, malicious prosecution, intentional infliction of emotional distress, that one's always a fun one, negligence, and gross negligence. Defendant Fields, unknown supervisors, and defendant Letcher County Sheriff is alleged to be liable to plaintiff for deliberate indifference in failing to adequately train and supervise defendant Fields. You sound like my father. Yes, please hit the like button. And even if you don't like me, please hit the down button. All engagement matters, and I really appreciate. We are trying to get to 5K by Memorial Day. Hung Hero, thanks for the $5 super chat. I was listening in the background, and then you mentioned me. What an unforced error. We protected his... You always make fun of the first phrase and the first sentence of every lawsuit and every filing and every lawsuit ever. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Biden also claimed there was a 28th Amendment. FYI, just in case you have never read our Constitution in the last 32 years, there has never been a 28th Amendment. There is not a 28th Amendment. There has never been a 28th Amendment passed, let alone ratified. All right. Jurisdiction and venue. This court has original jurisdiction over this action pursuant to 28 U.S. Code 1331, actionable by virtue of 42 U.S. Code 1983. In addition, the court has supplemental jurisdiction over state law pursuant to 28 U.S. Code 1367. Venue is appropriate in this court pursuant to 28 U.S. Code 1391. And honestly, I have no idea what any of those say. I ain't that smart. Reading is hard, let alone knowing what all of these how many. Oh my goodness. So y'all got me past the you know what time it is, right? You got me past the $25 super chat mark. I'm not in the mood for this tonight, but oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. Oh boy. Whew. All right, back to the thing. Oh, and I just got a picture, and whoever sent me that picture, we'll talk about that later. I have words for those people. That's part of why I just don't give a shit. Yeah. The plaintiff is a resident of Pike County, Kentucky. Defendant Field was at all times relevant to this complaint, acting as a Letcher County deputy sheriff. Defendant Fields is sued in his official capacity on the declaratory relief and damages claims, and in his individual capacity as to all claims set forth herein. Upon information and belief, Defendant Fields is a resident of Letcher County, Kentucky. At all times relevant hereto, Defendant Fields was acting under color of state law in performing the acts or omissions complained of in this complaint. Defendant Mickey Stines is the duly elected Letcher County Sheriff, elected pursuant to the Kentucky Constitution, Section 99, and regulated by KRS. Chapter 70. Factual allegations. Okay, this is just me, we'll talk about it later. Okay, this is just me being picky, but I hate when there's this one, when a title is the last thing on a page. Yeah, it's probably a good thing. Whew. And Taz, thank you for the $3 super chat. Love to you and Baby Squid. She is just hanging out, playing with toys, with her, listening to her iPad music. So if she gets a little loud, I will have to turn it down before I get copyright struck again. And thank you, Harry, for the $20 super chat. We love you, Squid. You do a great job. Thanks. And I'm a giant train wreck half the time, which I think is part of the entertainment factor, because you're never going to get a perfect stream out of me. You're never going to see me just, you're never just going to see me be able to read something all the way through without getting derailed at least once. It's just, ooh, that's another, oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh yeah. Whew. That's 2 in 1 stream. That never happens. Oh. And for those of you who are new here, my little grift for super chats is this garlic clove. That is deep fried garlic cloves, but they're Hotter Than Sin. I think they have a Scoville. The name of them is Flatline. So, they're so good to hear. They're so good. Oh, but they are so hot. I might have to take off this hat before I start sweating. Oh. Whew. And to the person who just texted me and apologized, don't apologize. Completely different drama. Somehow I find myself a party to all of the stupid drama on YouTube. By trying to be nice to people, I get dragged into drama. Yeah. Screw people. Screw people. Oof. I don't people very well. So, yeah. I don't people very well. I have my favorites. Thanks for the $1.99 super chat. I love me some wasabi pea snacks. I just really don't like hot foods. Just have to return a text. And okay, I'm gonna make this announcement right now to quell drama. If you are from a certain group on Facebook that I am no longer a part of, that is dealing with What the Hales drama, I'm not a part of your group. I left a part of your group. Don't write me. Don't talk to me. I don't give a shit. Your group is a scam. Your group is a drama filled. Your group is worse than the other side, in my opinion. Your group is a cult. And if you don't agree with what happens in that cult, they get pissed at you and start calling your friends not real people. So you right now are worse to me than the fleas. So I don't want to so who is saying this is why the sheriff unalived the judge? We're not sure. There's really no reason there that is being given, but this is just one of the pieces to the puzzle that we're trying to explore. Yeah, I hate What the Hell's bullshit and everybody involved. Like, remember when I said everybody was assholes before I even started covering it and why I didn't want to cover it? Everybody involved is assholes. So, where in Kentucky are you about? Eastern, Central, or Western? I lived in Central Kentucky when I was in high school. So, neutral channel here. I hate everybody. Like I said, I don't people very well. Central. I lived north of Lexington for 3 years in high school. I was in Scott County. Thereabouts. All right. All preceding paragraphs are incorporated hereby in reference thereto, as in fully set out herein. I love the legal language of. I feel like I'm in a backwards. Yeah. No, you're one of my favorite people. Yes. Yep. That's it. Plaintiff was arrested in Letcher County in Kentucky in April of 2021. From April of 2021 through June 2nd, 2021, plaintiff was incarcerated at the Letcher County Jail. In early June of 2021, plaintiff was released from Letcher County Jail and placed on home incarceration. Defendant Fields, a deputy sheriff with Letcher County Sheriff's Department, was assigned to be plaintiff's home incarceration officer. After she was released, plaintiff had a difficult time finding housing accommodations in Letcher County, which doesn't surprise me much. Letcher County seems like a very, very rural county, and it's not like a city. And those of you who live in a city where apartments are abound, it's like if you don't own a home or you aren't a college student and living in a college baseball, or college dorm or college, apartments, housing, there's really no place you can't find easy housing unless you own a house. Um, so, um, and I will look up the Scoville of this. Um, yeah, Letcher is pretty much reminds me of the county I live in now, where there's just like nothing here. So what's up, DW? All right. And this lawsuit does not directly relate to the sheriff and the judge, but it might be one of those small puzzle pieces in this big old rabbit hole to kind of understand what might have been going on in his mind, that he decided to do this, because he has pled not guilty. He has pled not guilty when he is on camera. And we saw the footage. I showed it here. And I don't there's more to this story that we're not being told. So I'm trying to dig down these rabbit holes, and I found this. I think I might have gotten this off As the Gavel Drops. I'm not really sure. But I do have the As the Gavel Drops Discord server link in my description. I look there for documents before I try to look anywhere else. All right. Yeah, my county doesn't even have that many people. My county has like half of that amount of people, by the way. Yeah, and there's yes. And there's the $1 million question. If we don't know if that happened either, and if it did, what might be morally right is not legally right. He's gonna do a temporary insanity play due to something with his wife or daughters. I don't know. They haven't come out with anything, and documents in this case are really hard to come by. Yeah, I don't understand why, but pleading not guilty. How does he walk around with balls that large? I don't know, and I really don't want to find out. Just saying. Defendant Fields was aware of plaintiff's housing issues as well as plaintiff's domestic issues. Defendant Fields visited plaintiff in the evening, the night she was released from Letcher County Jail, to bring her cigarettes and to console her. At this time, plaintiff noted defendant Fields that she did not have the money to pay for her ankle bracelet, but she was terrified to return to the Letcher County Jail. Defendant Fields made flirtatious comments about plaintiff's looks and body and told her that he was confident that they could work something out. Plaintiff understood these communications to mean that she would receive favorable treatment from defendant Fields if she provided him with smexy time favors. Therefore, plaintiff and defendant Fields communicated on a regular basis by text message. Never put anything in writing. Never put anything in writing or anything on the internet that you wouldn't be willing to say to somebody's face or that you wouldn't be willing to say in court. If I understand that, and mind you, have not exactly been following this case or this, but if I understand, he's claiming there were circumstances outside of his control or something. There are rumors that the judge was contacting his daughter for not good and not innocent reasons. You can take that information with what you will. I don't have any proof to that. That is just one of the accusations and speculation have been thrown around. But there's people in this case, the defendants lawyers, the prosecutors, they are keeping tight-lipped on this. There's been rumors of that too, but I haven't seen anything like solid, like a written accusation. It's just been one of those other things that I've heard and read in various news articles, but nobody's actually putting it in writing, unless they are putting it in legal filings, and I just can't find those legal filings. But we're working on it. I'm getting better at finding things, but you know, this is why I have people who are smarter than me, like Sir Frank, sending me stuff. Um, According to the Lexington Herald, the FBI has all the phones, the sheriff's daughter, and the judges, all of them. That doesn't surprise me. But here's the thing: how much do I trust the FBI? Not very much. Can't stay for long. I fixed my stream issues, but I support dinosaur snuggies. Hey, and guess what? Thanks to you, my daughter thinks that bedtime is not real. I wonder where she got the idea of things not being real from. Slug. All right. Let's see. In late June of 2021, Defendant Fields asked Sabrina to meet her at the Letcher County Courthouse in the evening after dark. Nothing ever goes on good at a courthouse after dark. Defendant Fields took plaintiff into District Judge Mullins' chambers. This is where it gets spicy, telling plaintiff that he wanted to meet her there because there were no cameras. At this time, Defendant Fields took off plaintiff's ankle monitor and told her that she would not have to pay the associated fees any longer, but can remain out on home incarceration. Between late June and December of 2021, Defendant Fields and plaintiff met at the Letcher County Courthouse in the evening or early morning hours approximately 6 times. During these meetings, Defendant Fields' behavior escalated from flirtatious comments to forcible kissing, a mouth hug, and some smexy time with plaintiff, all of which occurred at the Letcher County Courthouse after hours in Judge Mullins' chamber. Here and after the essay. You know what? Maybe that's a good... Maybe instead of night court, you do courthouse after dark. Maybe I just change the name of my stream. Yeah. Yeah, I have no confidence in anything with the federal government. And one of the executive orders that he signed tonight was the federal government directive to end the weaponization of the federal government against political adversaries. So all of those people, sidebar, all those people who are like, Trump is going to go after this person or Trump is going to go after this person. As much as I would like that, as far as like my petty side, just wanting revenge, if he does that, one, he follows or he breaks a campaign promise of not going after political adversaries just for the sake of being political adversaries. And he is no better than the people who are calling him Hitler, which I think he is a better person than them, and that is projection. I don't think he's a great person. Don't get me wrong. I can like somebody and not like aspects of their personality at the same time. Ask about 7 people in this chat right now. I can like somebody and then not agree with half the shit they do. Doesn't mean I hate them as people. Just means I hate some of the things they do. But, that's the thing. Life is not an all or nothing. Just because someone pisses me off once or does something where I think is a bad thing doesn't mean they are bad people. There's a difference. So, I'm just hoping he doesn't put tariffs on Canadian oil or gas will skyrocket. I don't think he will, because I think he was one that was working on that pipeline between the U.S. and Canada. So I don't see that happening. Yes, right here. He's a better president than Biden ever dreamed of being, but would I want him as a husband? No. See? It's all about perspective. Great president, shitty husband. It's possible to be a great person in the outward life and be a shitty person to your close circle. So, I don't I don't quite know. There was a few executive orders that they signed in public, and then they're going back to the White House to do more. So I don't know. I'll let you guys know in the morning. It's a lot to keep up with. All right, and since we're running short on time, for the first 15 years that we knew each other, old dude, not or focused on his career, which is why I'm able to stay home. However, not the best romantic person in the world. Like, it's the kind of person where it's like, okay, here's my Valentine's Day, here's my credit card, here's your limit, go for it, go shopping. Not really the most romantic, not the flower kind of guy. Yeah, daddy's not the flower kind of guy. Well, at least for mommy. You want to go to bed? No. You think bedtime's a myth? You want to come up here? Oh. Yeah, he's not the that's not to say he's a bad person. He's just the romantic side of his personality never got developed. Hold on, let me have it. Come here. Let me have it. Let me have it. Oh, she killed the battery. Hold on, guys. National emergency. Little one killed the iPad battery. Well, this is what happens when we leave it on and we walk away. This is why when we walk away from the iPad, we turn it off. Mommy didn't see it. Let it charge, okay? Let it charge. Oh, boy. My husband would buy me a houseplant, but not cut flowers. He said, why buy me something that was already... That's a good point. Oh! ICE is allegedly offering $750 per illegal immigrant to turn in through their tip form. That I'm torn about, in the sense of in the sense that baby girl, I got it. Here. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of false, because people in this country are greedy. And yeah, that's their $750 is their number. Oh, and speaking of $750, my claim for FEMA is still pending. 4 months later. Hold on. It's got to charge, baby. That's what happens when you walk away from it. The battery dies. Well, guess what? Oh, toddler life. Yeah, but that's because that's your personality. That is not most men. And someday, some woman is going to really appreciate that. Hold on. Yay, high five. Love you, you're the best. Oh, she is tired. I have, the only orchids I have are right here. Or right here. One of the two. It's pretty bad when you can't remember which arm your tattoo is on. That's how you know you are tired. All right. Plaintiff was coerced and compelled to comply with Defendant Fields' advances given Defendant Fields' position of power, and because she could not afford to pay for the ankle monitor, did not want to return to the Letcher County Jail. Plaintiff did not consent to the SA. This meeting would typically occur the night before plaintiff had a court appearance, and Defendant Fields would put plaintiff's ankle monitor back on and otherwise fix it so that she would appear compliant with her home incarceration the following day. Upon information and belief in late December of 2021, certain persons at the Letcher County Courthouse were notified that Defendant Fields was having inappropriate communications and/or relations with plaintiff, and were provided text messages evidencing the inappropriate communications and relations. Upon information and belief, defendant Fields became aware of the information contained in the preceding paragraph. In late December of 2021, defendant Fields stopped communicating with plaintiff by text message or otherwise. Upon information and belief in early January of 2022, defendant Fields filed a complaint against plaintiff claiming that she was not complying with the terms of her home incarceration. Upon information and belief, this complaint was filed maliciously by defendant Fields in effort to punish plaintiff in an attempt to save his own job and reputation. Shocker. Somebody trying to save their own reputation by throwing somebody less fortunate and in a not a position of power under the bus. Welcome to small town problems. Plaintiff was arrested on January 26th of 2022 in Pike County, Kentucky. Plaintiff is terrified that she will be transferred to the Letcher County Jail, where upon information and belief, defendant Fields' wife is employed as an officer. Oh, oh, damn. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I have some family who's like that. Family member's birthday is on Valentine's Day, and so is their wedding anniversary. So now we know why she was scared of going back to Letcher County Jail. His wife is an officer, so not only is he accused of doing this stuff, he is married. Oh, yeah. Plaintiff has serious concerns for her safety and welfare if she were to be transferred to the Letcher County Jail. Upon information and belief, there are other women who defendant Fields has similarly abused. Upon information and belief, the Letcher County Sheriff and unknown supervisors of defendant Fields failed to adequately train and supervise defendant Fields. Upon information and belief, the Letcher County Sheriff knew or should have known that defendant Fields was essaying females, including plaintiff, in his charge. Upon information and belief, Letcher County Sheriff did not reasonably respond to the reports or suspicions of essay perpetrated by defendant Fields. I tried so hard not to say those words and say essay instead that I forgot how to read perpetrated. The defendant's conduct described above has caused severe injury to plaintiff for which she is entitled to recover actual damages in an amount to be determined at trial. Count 1. Defendant Fields violated plaintiff's rights secured by United States Constitution Amendment 4. Blah, blah, blah. All preceding paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference thereto as if fully set out herein. That sentence always makes me laugh because it's like, it makes sense, but it's worded so weird. Defendant Fields knowingly and recklessly engaged in the above described essay of plaintiff, and such physical contact was objectively unreasonable. Defendant Fields' essay of plaintiff was not rationally related to any legitimate government purpose and was otherwise excessive. Plaintiff did not consent to the physical contact with defendant Fields. Plaintiff was coerced by defendant Fields, and to the extent she complied with defendant Fields' physical contact, did so only because she was intimidated by defendant Fields, who provided plaintiff with privileges in exchange for smexy time favors. The above described actions of defendant Fields constitute a violation of plaintiff's right to be free and from unreasonable search and seizure, secured by U.S. Constitution Amendments 4, which is actionable pursuant to 42 U.S. Code 1983. Plaintiff is entitled to recover compensatory damages against the defendant Fields in an amount sufficiently to fully compensate her for the damages she has suffered as a result of constitutional violation. Defendant Fields willfully, wantonly, recklessly, and maliciously engaged in unconstitutional conduct as described above. Plaintiff is entitled to recover punitive damage against defendant Fields in an amount sufficient to punish defendant Fields as well as deter him and others similarly situated from committing such violations in the future. Count 2. Defendant Fields violated plaintiff's right secured by U.S. Constitution Amendments 14. All preceding paragraphs. The channel went on me and you couldn't see anything. Refresh. Refresh. It should be good. Bye, DW. All preceding paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference thereto as if fully set out herein. Plaintiff had a fundamental right to personal security and bodily integrity, extending specifically to the right to be free from SA. Defendant Fields smexily abused plaintiff in violation of this fundamental right. Fields' conduct was so oppressive that it shocks the conscience. Defendant Fields' conduct was intended to injure plaintiff in a way unjustifiable by any government interest. The above described actions of Defendant Fields constitute a violation of plaintiff's substantive due process rights secured by U.S. Constitution Amendments 4, which is actionable pursuant to U.S. 42 U.S. Code 1983. Plaintiff is entitled to recover, I think he meant 14. Plaintiff is entitled to recover compensatory damages against the defendant Fields in the amount sufficient to fully compensate her for damages she suffered as a result of constitutional violation. And the same thing before, willfully, wantonly, recklessly, and maliciously engaged in actions. Plaintiff to recover punitive damages. Count 3, deliberate indifference, failure to supervise and train actionable pursuant to 42 U.S. Code 1983 against Letcher County Sheriff and unknown supervisors of Fields. Defendant Fields was inadequately trained in areas of proper supervision and interaction with female criminal defendants on home incarceration. Defendants, Letcher County Sheriff and unknown supervisors of Fields, together Letcher County Sheriff's Department, knew or should have known that Defendant Fields was abusing his power and taking advantage of females on home incarceration under his control and supervision. I got yeeted by YouTube for they were yeeting everybody who was streaming the inauguration. So they knocked out Shizzy a couple of times, lots of small channels. We all had to go over to Twitter. So Shizzy went to Rumble, and Mike, Coop, Georgie, and I went to Twitter. Letcher County Sheriff's Department policymakers, the inadequate training of home incarceration officers employed by Letcher County Sheriff's Department is likely to result in the ongoing violation of constitutional rights. Letcher County Sheriff's Department policymakers have been deliberately indifferent to this need for adequate training. The Letcher County Sheriff's Department failure to adequately train, supervise, or discipline their employees approximately caused the violation of plaintiff's constitutional rights. The Letcher County Sheriff's Department substantially caused a constitutional tort to plaintiff through its act, customs, policy statements, ordinances, regulations, and decisions officially adopted and promulgated that bodies officers. And I know I pronounced that right. Yeah. I'm working on it. I did download or log into Rumble Studio. I just can't figure out how to connect Rumble Studio with StreamYard or OBS, to be perfectly frank with you. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think he's going to be granted it. You're on video unaliving somebody, no matter what the reason. And because you were sheriff, you have resources. The acts and omissions of the Letcher County Sheriff's Department in failing to adequately train and supervise Defendant Fields as set forth in this complaint amount to deliberate indifference to constitutional rights of plaintiff and a complete disregard for the known and obvious consequences of such indifference, all of which resulted in constitutional violations and tortious conduct described in this complaint, and are therefore actionable pursuant to 42 U.S. Code 1983. Plaintiff is entitled to recover compensatory damages against Letcher County Sheriff's Department. Defendant, Letcher County Sheriff's Department, acted willfully, wantonly, and recklessly and maliciously. Plaintiff, this is all the same as before, so I shorten it at about this time. Plaintiff is entitled to recover punitive damages against Letcher County Sheriff's Department in the amount sufficient to punish said defendant. Count 4, negligence, gross negligence, assault, and battery against defendant Fields. All preceding paragraphs, you get the drift. The above described actions of defendant Fields were negligent, grossly negligent, and constitute assault and battery. Defendant Fields has a duty to reasonably supervise plaintiff while she was on home incarceration. Defendant Fields violated the duty he had to the plaintiff. Defendant Fields' violation of the duty of care he owed to plaintiff proximately caused the plaintiff damages. The plaintiff is entitled to recover compensatory damages against Fields in the amount sufficient to fully compensate her. Defendant Fields willfully, wantonly, recklessly, and maliciously engaged in tortious conduct. Plaintiff is entitled to recover punitive damages against defendant Fields in an amount sufficient to punish him for the tortious conduct, as well as to deter him and others similarly situated from engaging in such conduct in the future. Count 5, gross negligence, infliction of emotional distress. As a direct proximate result of the above described grossly negligent conduct of defendant Fields, plaintiff suffered and continues to suffer severe emotional distress. Plaintiff is entitled to recover compensatory damages from defendant Fields in an amount sufficiently to fully compensate her for the damages she suffered as a result of the tortious conduct. Because the conduct of defendant Fields was grossly negligent, plaintiff is entitled to recover punitive damages against defendant Fields in the amount sufficient to punish him and deter him and others similarly situated from engaging in such conduct in the future. Count 6. Yeah, that's true. Kentucky is a commonwealth, which makes it different than your average state. Hoy, count 6. Yep. She's got Shabuzi on and she's dancing. Hopefully she danced herself to sleep. Not sure what that really means. The Commonwealth issue. Commonwealths are ran just slightly bit different in how they manage life. I'm thinking 8-12. So we got 3 more minutes. And then, you have the 5 minutes of talking before you get into it. Probably not. Volume down, please. Thank you. Appreciate it. Count 6, intentional infliction of emotional distress. The above described actions of defendant Fields were intentionally and are outrageous and offend generally accepted community standards of decency and morality. As a direct and proximate result of the above styled volume down. Thank you. She likes to jam out, but she knows when I say volume down, she turns the volume down. As a direct and proximate result of the above described actions of defendant Fields, plaintiff suffered and continues to suffer severe emotional distress. Plaintiff is entitled to recover compensatory damages. Defendant Fields willfully, wantonly, recklessly, and maliciously engaged in tortious conduct above described. Plaintiff is entitled to recover punitive damages against Fields in an amount sufficient to punish him for his malicious and intentional tortious conduct, as well as deter defendant Fields and others similarly situated from engaging in such conduct in the future. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully demands the following relief: an award of compensatory damages against defendants in an amount sufficient to compensate plaintiff for damages she suffered as a result of the federal constitutional violations described herein, an award of compensatory damages against defendants in the amount of sufficient to compensate plaintiff for damages she suffered as a result of the above described basis for liability arising under state law, an award of punitive damages against defendants in amount sufficient to punish the defendants and deter them, as well as others similarly situated from engaging in unconstitutional conduct in the future. An award of plaintiff's costs incurred in prosecuting this action, including reasonable attorney's fees and any expert fees pursuant to 42 U.S. Code 1988, and an award of any and all other relief to which plaintiff may appear entitled. The plaintiff respectfully demands trial by jury on all counts so triable. Respectfully submitted, Bethany Baxter. Childers and Baxter. Lexington, Kentucky. All right. Intro running now. Well, that is actually perfect timing because we are done. So we will, she has 2 lawyers. Next time we will discuss what happened with this. I am still working on what happened with this lawsuit. I was able to find the lawsuit. I am still working on what happened with the lawsuit. I think it's settled, but I have not seen anything. Hey, Magic Angel, how are you? All right, on that happy note, we are going to head over to Tug, tell him I said hi and I sent y'all. And once again, if y'all have drama, keep me out of it. Stay out of the drama, stay positive. And if you don't want to be a part of something, just tell the person you don't want to be a part of it. Bye, guys. Have a great night.